I have depression. You don't have to clap at that. It's okay. But yeah, no, I have depression, but like it's cool. It's under control, which is depressed person talk. For at least I'm happy when I'm asleep. I've had it for a few years now, so I've gone through different means of combating it. One of which came in the form of a cassette tape, and I found this cassette tape, and the cover art in big bold letters, it said "End your depression now," like with the exclamation point and everything. And at first, I thought it was a command. I was like, "I'm trying my hardest. I'm sorry. I don't know why you have to be so mean." But then I realized you're supposed to listen to it. So I took the cassette tape, I brought it home, and I put it in my cassette player and pressed play. And as soon as I pressed play, my cassette player broke. So that's how my life is going right now. Another means of combating depression I found in the form of retail therapy. If you don't know what that is, it's a simple concept. It's where you feel bad, so you buy something, and then you feel less bad. It's not flawed at all. And the main issue with my love for retail therapy is that I also have terrible buyer's remorse. And if you don't know what that is, it's feeling bad about buying stuff. So how it'll go for me is I'll buy a $70 pair of shoes, trash bag free. I'll buy a $70 pair of shoes and then not sleep for an entire week. And whenever I tell people this, they're like, "Marshall, how do you live like that?" And I'm like, sometimes I'll go for days without eating because I'm too lazy to make something I'd hardly consider what I do living. But depression isn't all that bad. It has some perks. I'm not as afraid of certain things, like death. I'm not as afraid of death. And I've learned recently I was never afraid of death, just scared of commitment. Like, I'm not trying to brag, but I'll get weirded out and ruin a relationship after like a month tops. But death is forever. And you can't ruin death the same way you ruin a relationship. I'm not going to be up in heaven asking God if he's mad at me because he hasn't texted me back in 30 minutes. Whether he regrets sending me to heaven instead of hell. Like, God, you said I have no other idols before you, and now you're saying we should see other people? Like, you're giving me mixed messages. I tried having a relationship with God, but I had a really good one growing up, but I've since then quit. You don't have to clap at that either. And I've realized that I've sort of started not believing in God when God stopped believing in me. Like, age 0 to 15, it was blessings left and right. And then 16 came around, and God was like, "Listen, Marshall, we need to have a talk. This isn't going anywhere. I'm gonna have to cut you off." And I didn't argue with God. I wasn't like, "Why, God, why?" or anything. I was just sort of like, that makes sense. I'd do the same thing if I were in your shoes or like your really big sandals. Thank you. I've been Marshall. That's my time.